put you in remembrance of the things that God has done. Somehow, somewhere along the way, you have allowed things to die down, or you have allowed yourself to forget what God has done. So the Apostle Paul was making it real clear. He says, I've got to stir some things up, because one, I need you to remember. He says, I'm going to stir you up by helping you to remember, and I'm going to stir you up by the laying on of hands. It's in the Word. What does it mean? What does it mean to stir up? What does it mean for us to stir up? Or why must something be stirred up? If you allow anything to sit, y'all know water. If you allow water to sit, you can put a bucket of water outside and the water sits. You look outside the next day, you'll have all kind of flies, all kind of bugs, all kind of trash in the water, because the water has been stagnated. The water has been sitting too long. Some of you have been sitting so long they have become stagnant, so therefore you allow trash to come on the inside of you. Why must you be stirred up? It's because there's too much on the inside of you. God says, I need to stir you up, because that which is in you, you have forgotten. God said, you allow trash to contaminate you. You allow the things of this world to contaminate you. You allow stress. You allowed your bills. You allowed relationships to cause you to be stagnant. So Paul says, I got to stir it up. Paul says there's some stuff that God has deposited on the inside of you that you done forgot. So today we come to stir you up. Today we going to lay hands on you to stir it up. Today we going to remind you of the promises of God so you can be stirred up. Somebody say, stir me up.
She says, stir you up. Hallelujah, Jesus. Look at somebody sitting next beside you and say, the title of the message is Shift My Faith. In other words, it's personal on today, y'all. You ain't got to be looking at your brother or your sister talking about, well, you ain't got enough faith to believe this. No, baby, today it's on you. You got to shift your faith. When you look up the word shift, it means to put something aside or replace it with another. To exchange, to transfer from one place to another. Place, position, person to another. In other words, this is what God said you have to do. You got to exchange that with faith. That's why you've been defeated by the devil, because you got what God told you. You got to remember Abraham. The Bible says he stands back at the promises of God. Sometimes you believe and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to trust him and sometimes you don't. You got to stop staggering. You know most people, when they staggering, they drunk. When you drunk, guess what? Your vision is over. That's why you can't see what God got for you, because you staggering. Yes. Once you take 2 steps forward, you stagger 5 and 6 and 8 steps back. That's why you can't go forward. But I come to tell you on today, you got to shake yourself up down. You got to stop listening to those haters, the one that say you can't make it. That's why I put that in your mind. Guess what? I got to change my mentality. And sometimes to change the mentality, you got to change the company that you keep. So I got to change it. I got to exchange that with faith. I got to change fear with courage. Why are you scared to step out on what God told you to do? I don't want to move until I see somebody else moving. No, baby. The Bible says God did not give me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. That's why I don't care. I don't need your affirmation, no confirmation from you. All I need is one word from God. faith got to keep moving from faith to faith and glory to glory. Don't you realize if you keep on doing the same old things, you'll keep getting the same results? You wonder why things ain't changing. You wonder why things is always the same. That's because you thinking the same, you talking the same, you listen to the same stuff. I got to stop the cycle now. I'm going to change some things.
Oh yeah. He said you got to shift my faith. This thing is personal. I would tell you to turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor to shift your faith. But today it ain't about your neighbor. Today this thing is personal. I got to shift my faith. I got to shift my faith. This thing is personal. In Romans 14 and 22 it says, have thou faith, have it to thyself before God. Happy is he that condemneth not himself in that thing which he alloweth. So faith is not about what you need. I can believe God for you, but if you don't believe God, you're going to miss out on what you need. All right. See, you can't operate on the faith of Pastor Angel. You can't operate on the faith of Pastor Tony. You got to operate on your faith. All right. Because it is so according to your faith. That's right. So I got to shift my faith. Some of you say, well, what do you mean by shifting my faith? I have faith. Yes, you do. Because the Bible declares that he is giving faith as a gift to each one of us. Faith is a gift that we have all received. Because if you have received salvation, you cannot receive salvation except you receive it by faith. Yes. See, I come to teach.
Yes, come on, teacher.
I come to teach. Then if I got to shift my faith, then I must know what exactly faith is. So if I go and I do a little bit of research on the word faith, those of you that were in Bible study, the word faith, the Greek word is pistis. You was right. That was the other word we talked about. It's pistis. So in order for me to know what faith is a firm assurance. It is a confidence. That means even when I don't get, even when I don't have it right now, I am still firmly persuaded that my faith shall not move. Yes. It is a firm foundation that which I don't have, I can still get it. Yes. Faith is putting that thing from out of my reach, and I'm going to put it in sea level. And when I say put it in sea level, my faith is going to allow me to see it. That's right. It allows me to take that which is invisible and make it visible to the naked eye. Come on. Even if I don't have the car in the house, my faith has put it at sea level that I can see myself riding in obedience. I can see myself living over here. I can see myself going from glory to glory. My faith put it at sea level. You can't get that which you can't see. You can't get that which you can't see. You can't get that which you can't believe yourself to have. So I need my faith to shift gears. Oh, somebody do it by faith and shift your faith. Come on, shift the gears. Come on, start shifting. Start shifting. Start shifting. So therefore we need to take a look at God coming through. Because I need my faith to be stirred up. So therefore I need to look at what God has already done. I need to think back. I need to go back a little bit and take a look at history. Let's go back down memory lane. All right. Verse 1 reads, now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, thy servant my husband is dead. Yes. And thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. All right. Verse 1 we see, we have a widow woman, and she tells you, my provider is dead. Okay. Back in the Old Testament, the man was the provider. All of your income, all of your resources came from the man. So if he died, that means she was broke. She ain't had no money. All he left her was debt. was her problems. So here she goes to the prophet Elisha and said, prophet, if I don't come up with the money, they gonna take my children, and my children are gonna be as slaves. See, some of you need a way out. It's not just for you, but it's for your children. He said, I can handle this thing, but my children. I can handle this thing, but don't touch my children. So she had a problem that she presented to the prophet Elisha. Let's take a look at verse 2.
Amen. Look at it.
No, let's look at verse 1 again, the prophet's response.
Yeah, go ahead.
The prophet's response. Let's take a look at verse 1. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Verse 2, it says, and Elijah said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in thy house? The prophet, she presented the problem to the prophet, and the prophet only gave her 2 questions. Question number 1 was, what you want? See, some of you want to come to the prophet and you want the prophet to figure it out. Elisha said, what you want? What is it that you want from me? Do you want me to pay the debt? What you want? Do you want me to pray? What you want? What is it that you want? The next question is, what you got? If you come to the prophet with a problem, the prophet already know that you got to have something. Y'all would have played games with the prophet. You'd have hit back a 20 and say, I ain't got nothing. And you need 100, and you'll go and get the 100 and use that 20 to go to Burger King. Oh, y'all know y'all done did that in this house. Y'all in an apostolic anointing. You in the house of the apostles, and we got the gift of discernment. It got tight in here, Pastor. It got tight on that. So the prophet said, what you got and what you want. Let's take a look. Let's read from Pastor. Verse 2.
And Elijah said unto her, what should I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, thy handmaid hath not anything in the house, save a pot of oil. Look at that. Her first response was, nothing. I ain't got nothing. Is that what you telling God? If he asks you, what do you want? And you saying, nothing. You got to remember, it says, now faith. You mean, you telling me God said I can ask for stuff right now? Because now my faith is present. It's not, it's for right now. God, I need you to do something in my life right now. But someone said, I ain't got nothing. And then she turn around and say, I got a pot of oil. I come to tell you, what you really need is already on the inside of you. You looking over here and you looking over there. You say, what you got in the house? Not the physical house, but this house, your spiritual house. What do you have in your house? I got faith on the inside of me. If you want a miracle, you got to shift your faith. If you want a healing, you got to shift your faith. If you got to want a breakthrough, you got to shift your faith. Now this pot of oil, it was used, number 1, for dietary state. Number 2, it was used for medicine and ointment. The third thing, it was used for an offering. It was used fuel in the lamps. It was also used the soldiers to keep their shield from being brittle. It was also used, Solomon sold it to build a temple. It also was used to make perfume. That's 7 things. Good God Almighty. 1 part of oil can make 7 things. 7 is the temple of completion. I come to tell you, you in the season of completion. God is about to shift some things for you. He says, they say 1 bottle of this oil is worth 1 year of a laborer's salary. It was valuable. I come to tell you, the oil that you got on the inside of you, it is valuable. Don't let it get contaminated. It is valuable. You can't look at everything. You can't listen to everything because the oil is valuable. After your oil, he said the soldiers use it, but they still won't get broke. It causes them not to break up.